You're not burned out. You're misaligned. And those two things have completely two different solutions. Today, I'm going to show you the difference and the first two steps on how to get clarity. Burnout and misalignment are two different things, and why that matters more than anything else you can try to get unstuck. Then I'm going to walk you through the first two movements that help get you clarity. They're practical, they're simple. They're called reflect and reveal. And it's something you can do starting this week. So a few years back, I worked with a lady that I'll call Sandra, and she was a leader in her organization. She was sharp, well-dressed, capable, potential, could lead like no other's business. And she was very respected. And on paper, she had everything going for her. When you looked from the outside looking in, wow, that is an amazing leader. She did say something that I have not forgotten. She told me, Jory, I keep waiting to find the thing, the calling, the purpose of my life. I keep waiting for the motivation. And Jory, it is not coming. She tried everything. She tried a sabbatical. She tried a new morning routine, a brand new healthy diet, rested more. She had more discipline, and nothing really left that underlying feeling that she was having. When we started working together and we were looking at her story and we were looking at the patterns in her life and what she was actually wired for, what came out was pretty revealing. She had built an entire career, a successful career, around her competence. And guess what? Her competence and her calling were two different things. She was exceptional at what she was doing, but it wasn't what she was made for. And something deep down had been sending these signals that there was something off, while she was still trying to fix it with grit and effort. Guess what? That is not burnout. You see, burnout responds to rest. What Sandra had was not responding to rest, because rest does not fix it. Only alignment fixes it. Let me make this distinction as clear as I can. Burnout happens when you've been giving too much, more than your capacity, for far too long. The tank is empty. That is something I've personally experienced, was burnout. The fix is to stop and refill. Misalignment happens when you've been living outside of your design for far too long. And something in your soul experiences this gap from what you're doing to what you know really what you're called to do. There's this gap. And the fix is not to stop. The fix is absolutely to aim in the right direction. You can rest for a month and come back to misalignment, and you can actually feel refreshed. It's still there because you did not fix the direction. You just happened to recover enough energy to keep going. In Psalm 139:16, I would like to read it to you. I think this will be an encouragement for you watching. So all the days ordained for you were written in God's book before one of them came to be. Before you were born, God had a design for your life. It's specific and it's intentional. When you're living outside of your design, even with the best of intentions, something on the inside knows it. And in some clients that I work with, I call it the 18-month rule. It's, imagine a golf ball sized problem, and it's just sitting on the inside of your stomach. And it takes 18 months or so to grow into the size of a basketball. That's that internal feeling of being misaligned. And that restlessness is not a lack of faith, even though sometimes it might feel that way. What it is, it's really the design that God has given you, the identity that He is giving you, calling to the deep. It's calling you to move more into being aligned. So what do? There are 5 movements that will bring you clarity. Today, I'm talking about the first two. Let's get to it. The first movement is called reflect. And I want to be specific about it because some people misunderstand it. See, when you reflect is not just reviewing your past. It is not a therapy session. It's more along the lines of a diagnostic. You are looking at your story like a detective, not for feelings, but you're looking for patterns. So one of the specific questions that I ask people and that you can ask yourself is this: when did I feel in my past most alive? Not just happy, not just, hey, this is great, but when did you catch fire? When did you really feel most like yourself? And what was I doing in those moments? So for Sandra, when we looked back, there was a very clear pattern in her life. Every time she was developing people, training, investing in their potential and growth, helping them see something about themselves that they didn't see, she came alive. She caught fire. And every time she was managing processes and systems and all the administrative details, which her role actually required, she fell flat. Same Sandra, same effort, completely different experience on the inside. That is your design showing itself to the world and talking to you. And you cannot get there until you stop and take the time to look back. Movement 2 is what I call reveal. And this is where your design and your wiring become visible. In Romans 12:6, it says, we have different gifts according to the grace given to each one of us. They're different. Each person is carrying something different, something specific that others don't carry, and they don't carry it in the same way. And here's the problem that most people run into at this stage. They look at other people and they ask the wrong question. They ask, why can't I do what they're doing? Or why don't I feel called to what they're called to? And that is comparison. That's not good. And comparing yourself to other people and their calling and their gift will keep you bound. It can confuse you indefinitely if you let it. The right question is, how was I specifically made? What flows out of me naturally from identity and the design that God has given me? So if you take a moment, what do other people come to you about without advertising it? They just come to you because there's a gift, there's a design, there's a talent, there's something there that they're drawn to. In Ephesians 2:10, it talks about you are God's workmanship, created in Christ to do good work. Your wiring matches your assignment, but you have to stop looking outward and sideways, and you have to stop long enough to take a look inward. When Sandra did this work, she actually stopped comparing herself to other leaders, other thought leaders that she was watching on YouTube, books that she was reading. She stopped comparing herself and she started to pay attention to actually how she was designed. And when she did, the picture in her mind became very clear. The picture got clear fast. She really wasn't made to run organizations. She was actually made to build people. And there are very specific roles in life that need that exact wiring. Hey, I want you to drop a word below in the comments. What do you feel like when you actually slow down and look at your story? Just one word. I want to know where you are. I read every comment. Here's where I really want to be honest with you. Reflect and reveal do create clarity, and that feels really good. But clarity alone does not produce change. And I have sat with people over months of coaching with them, and they became very, very clear on how they were designed. And they were still stuck because they never learned to focus that clarity and build a vision from it to take a very practical next step. And if you're someone that wants to walk through the entire process personally tailored to your story and design, that is exactly what the Refinement Room coaching process is about. The application link is below. Refocus, rebuild, and respond. Those are the three movements that take what you know into what you actually do. And if you want to learn more about that, I want you to watch the next video. This is the Refinement Room, and the work is real. Clarity is available to you, and I'll see you in part 2.